Unit 7 is tough, man.
I feel like in the past week we've seen so many people die just from Unit 7. But there's also a hyper-focused kind of killing going on. It's called genocide. From the Greek, it literally means race or people killing. Today, let's review some of the mass atrocities after 1900. Check this section title. Mass atrocities after 1900. There have been plenty of mass atrocities in this course so far. Mongols, Native Americans, the slave trade, King Leopold in the Congo. I could go on. So maybe a better way to look at this is mass atrocities after the Industrial Revolution. Over the past week, we've seen what these militaries can do to each other. Now, imagine if instead of fighting one another, they're using their power to target one specific group. That's genocide. And your teacher definitely went over the Holocaust. And that's the only mandatory genocide the College Board mentions by name. But they give 4 other illustrative examples, like the Holocaust wasn't illustrative enough. So I used those in making this map. You can see the locations and the death tolls, as well as who was the target. Since you know the Holocaust and what genocide means, I won't spend too much time here. Here's a brief rundown. First, the Armenian genocide in the Ottoman Empire. We alluded to this back in 7.1 with Ataturk and the Republic of Turkey. The Ottoman Turks targeted the Armenian Christians, killing up to 1 million people. During World War I, the Turks felt that the Christian Armenians were sabotaging their war effort against the Christian Russians. The Ottomans then forced the Armenians on death marches through the Syrian desert. They also forcibly converted hundreds of thousands of Christian Armenians to Islam. And after the war, these policies against the Armenians continued well into the Republic of Turkey. This one is different than all the other ones, though. Why? The Ottomans and then later the Turkish Republic deny this to this day. Also, this is the first major one after 1900, and Hitler's going to use this as his blueprint for the Holocaust. He infamously said in 1939, "Who, after all, speaks today of the annihilation of the Armenians?" Second, the Holodomor in Ukraine. This one literally means hunger plague. You'll often see Mao and Stalin listed as the biggest killers of all time. And most of that is from famine. When you remove ownership and collectivize the farms, crop yields plummet. No food leads to famine and death. And in this case, Stalin uses famine as a weapon against the Ukrainians. He collectivized their farms and then shipped their crops to factory workers around the Soviet Union. He then refused all outside help, restricted the Ukrainians' movement outside of Ukraine, and let the people starve. He let 4 million people starve. Stalin has a ton of morbid quotes, but in regards to the Holodomor, he said this: "If only 1 man dies of hunger, that is a tragedy. If millions die, that's only statistics." I think I hate Stalin the most. Note to self, make a list of people I hate the most. Third, the Cambodian genocide. Under the rule of Pol Pot and the communist Khmer Rouge, 2 million Cambodians were purged. That's 25% of their entire population. Per capita, this is the worst genocide of all time. The Cambodian genocide can be seen in the same vein as Mao's Cultural Revolution that we'll review in the next unit. No, the Cambodians literally went to Beijing and asked him how to do it. According to them, all you needed was farmers. So, kill anyone who doesn't fit this mold. This is a classic communist purge. Everyone was sent to forced labor camps. People were taken out into the killing fields and killed with pickaxes to save bullets. All right, now cover your ears, Americans. But the Khmer Rouge and this genocide was finally stopped by the Socialist Republic of Vietnam's invasion in 1979. Fourth genocide, the Rwandan genocide. This one took place completely in the summer of 1994. This one has roots back in Unit 6. Belgian colonists had played up one side of Rwandans against the other. Without going too deep here, the Tutsis were a minority and granted special privileges by the Belgians. The Hutus were a majority and granted lower class status. This is an oversimplification, but after decades of infighting, the Hutus finally rose up and tried to get rid of all the Tutsis. In 3 months, they killed almost 1 million people. This one even spilled over into next door Zaire, which is now the Democratic Republic of the Congo, where hundreds of thousands of more people were killed. All right, that's it. That's the ones the College Board mentioned, so make sure you know the Holocaust and then 1 or 2 of the ones we just mentioned. Also, this isn't a definitive list. There are others, and there may even be some going on right now. All right, enough Unit 7. I'm exhausted. But we can't leave Unit 7 without crowning an MVP. I'll see you tomorrow.